What's interesting is that most AI failures don't happen with a big bang. They're more like a slow, silent drift into becoming unreliable. Today, we're going to tear down the part of the NIST AI risk management framework that's designed to stop that drift in its tracks, the manage function. Okay, let's just jump right into the deep end with a scenario. Your critical AI system, the one handling logistics or maybe customer service, it's suddenly going off the rails. The results are getting weird. The risks you thought you had a handle on are now way over your organization's tolerance level. What do you do? What's the plan?
See, this isn't just a fire drill. It's a real-world failure point that the manage function of the NIST framework forces you to think about ahead of time. The truth is, you'll never get risk down to zero, but you absolutely have to have a clear, pre-approved plan for when things inevitably go sideways.
Now, what's really cool about this is how it turns sheer panic into a clear procedure. You've got options, and they escalate. First, you could supersede it, just temporarily bypass the AI with a manual process while you fix a little glitch. Or you might need to disengage, take one specific troublesome part of the system offline while the rest keeps running. And then there's the big one. If the whole thing is just fundamentally broken, you decommission it, you retire it safely and securely. But here's the thing, before you can even think about hitting that off switch, you need a plan, a strategy that was decided on long before any crisis hit. And that's where your strategic playbook comes in. It defines your response for every single risk you've already identified. So based on all that mapping and measuring you did earlier in the framework, you've basically got 4 core moves you can make. Are you going to mitigate the risk by pouring resources into fixing it? Will you transfer it, maybe by getting an insurance policy? What about avoiding it completely by just not deploying that AI system? Or are you going to formally accept it, acknowledging it's there and committing to watch it like a hawk? And this is the crucial part. This is all done proactively. This isn't about making a gut call in the heat of the moment. Every single one of these choices is a strategic decision you make in the calm of the planning phase. And that decision directly impacts your budget, your teams, and what you focus on. So let's make this real. You've made a strategic call. You're going to mitigate a risk. How does that one-word decision actually turn into real, concrete action? How does it become an operational reality? Well, it always starts with a specific risk that you flagged way back in the map function. Let's stick with our example. Your team has identified that a new AI hiring tool might be screening out really qualified candidates from certain demographics. That's a huge problem. So your organization looks at this, and based on its values and risk tolerance, it says, nope, that is completely unacceptable. The decision is made. Right then and there, we will mitigate this risk. That's the path forward. And this right here is where the rubber meets the road. Mitigate stops being an idea and becomes a funded, staffed commitment. It means you're allocating money for a red team to actively try and break the model. It means engineers are assigned to integrate fairness toolkits. It means scheduling regular audits by actual people. This isn't just a plan on a whiteboard, it's putting real resources on the table to make it happen. Okay, but having a plan and the resources isn't quite enough, right? You also need to know when to pull the trigger on that plan. You need an early warning system. This is why the manage function demands continuous monitoring after you deploy. This is your eye in the sky, your constant health check, watching how the AI behaves out in the wild. It's there to make sure your valuable asset doesn't quietly turn into a hidden liability. Now, your monitoring architecture isn't just one thing. Think of it as a whole suite of tools working together. You've got your basic performance trackers and anomaly alerts, sure, but you also have really critical things like data drift detectors. A drift detector watches the data coming into the AI. If the world changes and the data starts looking different, say the average income of loan applicants suddenly drops, it sends up a flag. It tells you the world has changed and your model might not be ready for it. Okay, back to our hiring tool. Let's say your organization set a hard and fast rule. The accuracy of this tool cannot drop below 95%. That number, defined in your plan, is your absolute line in the sand. The second your monitoring system sees that accuracy dip below the threshold, bam, an alert is triggered. And that single alert is what activates your predefined incident response plan. It brings us right back to where we started, to that clear protocol of superseding, disengaging, or decommissioning the system. The whole loop, from plan to action, is connected. All right, let's zoom out and look at the big picture here. What's the ultimate goal of all this intense management and monitoring? Why go through all the trouble?
It's because this isn't just about avoiding a disaster or checking a box on a compliance form. It's about building the operational backbone you need to create AI systems that are safe, reliable, and fair. It's about creating a feedback loop so you're constantly learning and feeding those lessons back into making your technology better and better.
I mean, the NIST framework itself says it best. This whole process, this rigorous management of risk, that's what builds trust. And honestly, without that trust from your customers, from your own teams, from the public, we're never going to unlock the incredible things these AI systems can really do. And that's really what it all boils down to. A truly mature AI strategy isn't just about planning for success. It's about accounting for the entire life cycle, making sure you have the plans, the people, and the protocols in place for any outcome. Because in the world of AI, learning how to manage failure responsibly is the secret ingredient to long-term success.